So now in chapter 10.03, and we're going to look at adding the remaining floor zones, and I'll show you how to add some tags. Now I've made the tags already. If you have access to the files, then you'll have access to this one. This is in a folder called scrapbook, and you need to sort of copy that to your hard drive or the server or something, and I'll show you how to link that file up to the scrapbook. We've also created a layer for the annotation. I've got some elements already in there. Okay, so those are hiding at the moment, so I'll just toggle those off. We'll concentrate on the floor zones first. So using the hatch layer, you could create an extra layer for floor zones if you preferred. I'm sticking it onto the hatch layer. We'll use the pencil tool. It's slightly more flexible than the rectangle tool when you come to adjusting shapes, so more about that later, but click on the pencil tool. I'm zooming in, and then use the object snap. If you haven't got this icon on your toolbar, then it's arrange and object snap. So I'm just going to click there, and we come around. I've got a translucent or transparent fill enabled, no stroke. When you come round the room, the temptation is to stop at that point, but I'm still drawing. It's still allowing me to carry on drawing until I get to this point where I close it off. If I wanted to stop drawing at this point, then I would have to hit the escape key, and that would stop drawing. And I'll show you what happens. If I just select this, you notice there's a blue line that goes all the way around the perimeter. Okay, so that's the stroke line. If I wanted to turn the stroke on, then the stroke line would go all the way around it. If, however, I didn't stop it at the end, and I'll just come around for this one. So we get to this point, and now as I'm reached the end, instead of clicking there, if I hit escape and I select this one, you notice that the blue line, which is the perimeter line, doesn't extend along this point. So if I was to add a stroke, then the stroke wouldn't appear at that point. And that could be a good thing or a bad thing. I'll finish this off by clicking on the line tool. I'll go from this point to this point. It finds the object and then closes it off. So I've now got a perimeter boundary as well. Now I can't work out, sadly, the area from this. There's no sort of area measuring tools. There are in SketchUp under Entity Info. So if I had the floor plans all laid out in SketchUp, I could work out the area quite quickly and then add that to a legend. I'm going to use this color for this zone because this is sort of the living color. This is my circulation color. That's the office color. This will be for the bathrooms, and this is sort of kitchen utility color. So if I use the style dropper and pick this color, paste that one in, then I've got my floor zones finished. Now the annotation layer, I've stuck that at the top, and I'll just click on the visibility toggle. Now I've added some of these things already. Scrapbook tray, whether it's turned off or on, then go to window and down to scrapbooks, and that will load up the scrapbook. Now this is something I've created myself, which you will have access to if you're a premium subscriber. To load this up into the scrapbook, it's a very similar process to the templates. Edit and preferences, or if you're on the Mac, then layout and preferences. Under the scrapbook section, click on the plus sign, and that will create another path for you to browse to. Copy the scrapbook file somewhere on your hard drive and then aim this file path at that, and then that'll hook up to that file. And then under scrapbooks, it should sit at the bottom, and you should see 2D drawing symbols, my furniture and my trees. I'll explain how you can create all this stuff later on under the scrapbook chapter. For now, we've got the 2D drawing symbols, and the window symbol is just this one, and we can drag this in. The door symbol is similarly easy to drag in, and so is the room. Now, I've got a ground first and second. You can create as many of these as you want. So again, you can just click into the rooms. You can do a neater job of lining stuff up. But this then gives a reference to all the objects in the drawing, and then these can be referred back to a different schedule or some other coordinating plans. So an extremely useful thing is the scrapbook. To edit these, because they're nested groups, then you have to double click to get into the text, and then double click the text and change that if that was window 5, for example. If I wanted to rotate it, then use the rotation handle. That should snap, providing you've got the object snap on, that should snap into position, and then you can move that to there. Okay, so very, very simple process. We'll go through the scrapbooks in a lot more detail later on, but this is how you can get access to these symbols. In the next video, we'll be using the scrapbook again, and we'll be putting in our section cuts. We'll also be putting in our level markers and our grid lines. Okay, so all of these things available for you, and then we'll have a fully coordinated drawing.